I'm Katie from Baker Lane Studio. Today I'm introducing you to these new inserts that I'm launching. They are designed for lettering practice in your planner. So they are undated pages that you can print or get sent to like a Staples or an Office Depot or something to print them, to put them, punch them if you want to, and put them in your planner. So as many of you may have noticed, the Happy Planner had the Love Letters planner come out at the beginning, to start at 2021. And because of that, a lot of people have been doing word of the day planner lettering challenges, which is really awesome. I have joined one. I will link the information below. I'm doing JLB Crafts because that's a little more geared towards beginners, which I am. So I'm going to talk to you about these inserts, but let me say very clearly from the beginning that I am not a lettering teacher nor an expert. So I am just a person practicing and someone trying to find the best way of practicing. So one of the best ways of practicing is, just on scrap paper elsewhere. But it is fun to have it in your planner. It's fun to decorate it every week. It's an easy way to track your progress during the year. But it's not clear if there'll be another one next year. There might be. Who's to say? But also, there are some modifications that I wanted for my personal practice that I put into this design and that I personally like better than those pages. So let me walk you through the differences here. So as I mentioned, this is undated. That means that you can print it off and however much suits you. I have two files that you download. One is for a 4-week month and one is for a 5-week month. And so then you can print however many of those you want. I thought that was just the easiest way to do it. They print in just black and white. It's very minimalist. That'll keep your costs down for printing. I did originally have a colored version of this printer and to do a year's worth of these inserts, to do a year's worth of them through Staples at this weight of paper, which I'll talk about in a moment, was going to be $72, and that was out of control. So I've minimized it. It's all black and white now, but I'm going to show you some really fun ways of decorating it, so trust me, it's not going to be bland by the end. So the biggest thing you'll notice is that each day of the week is taller. There are 9 lines, and I'll talk about why that's important in a minute. There are 9 lines for each day, and then only 6 days. So we have a combined weekend, and that's just the only way I could get the extra height in on a standard sheet of paper. So that does mean if you're following a word of the day challenge that you will lose a day. However, I personally have trouble getting 100% in my challenges. As much as I love them, as glad as I am to do them, 6 days a week is a very achievable goal for me, and 7 days a week is a little iffy. So you would be missing a day, but there is other practice space here that I will show you in a minute. Why did I make them taller, and why 9? So these are designed for the small brush pens like the Tombow Fudenosuke. Oh, I'm sorry, I hit the tripod. It's not very steady. I apologize for any wavering you'll hear. But the Tombow Fudenosuke pens, and they're also great for the Pentel Touch Sign pens. These are both small brush pens, and the spacing here is perfect for these and actually matches that in the Happy Planner exactly. So if you're used to that, you're not going to have to adjust. The difference is that those inserts have 8 spaces and these have 9, and the reason I did that is because in my opinion those don't have as much room as I want or need when I am working with words that both have ascenders that go above the line and descenders that go below. So let me show you an example. This, I think, is a pretty emblematic word. Golf. G-O, and then an ascender, L, and then F, which is both an ascender and descender, right? You're gonna have trouble if you don't have extra space fitting these ascenders in between these descenders on the next line if you don't have extra space. But with the extra space, you can just have them barely touch. And in this manner, you can get 3 practice lines. That is the difference between having 8 and having 9. There you go. So you can do it this way if you have both ascenders and descenders. If you happen to only have one, let's do ascenders. Then you can carry on as usual. And you can get, I'll show you, 4 sets in, just like you might be used to. I'm trying to letter fast, which is probably not a great idea. So my video cut out and I lost a little bit of it here, but we didn't miss too much. I showed you the 3 lines for golf and how you can have them all stacked up, and then that if you have only ascenders, you can just use 2 lines and fit 4 up and down. And if you only have descenders, then you can still fit 4 stacked. For both of these, you'll have 1 extra line, but they kind of make a nice spacing, and it's really nice and aesthetic looking. So what I like about these is the ability to fit 4 when you want to, fit 3 when you want to, and for these like Instagram challenges the day where you've got a different word every day, you can decide what format you want given your word that day. You aren't locked in to a particular format. All right, so let's look at the whole insert. So I've designed this so that you can Franken-plan it or just add it straight into your planner. So it starts with a right-hand page with this month at a glance. This would be a place that if you wanted to, you could write all the words of the challenge for that month. Then, let me hold this up so you can see it. I have a dot grid here where the dot spacing is equivalent to the height of these lines. I don't know if I can get them. They're the same height. So that means is that you can decide how you want to use this dot grid. You can use it for extra practice, or you can use it for stickers or other kinds of decoration. Either way, totally doable. But as I said, they are spaced in the same way as the lines you're used to. So you can do 1 set of dots for your small brush pens and get in a little more practice that way. Or if you have other brush pens, like these big, long, tall ones, they won't fit very well on the regular sheets. But you could use 2 of the dot grids to get the size that you might want. And I apologize, I only have really light colored ones of these because I use them as like a nice wash of color. You could do a little bit of big. Sorry, my S looks so funky. I haven't learned it yet in my challenge yet. But so you can use it for these big brush pens if you want to. And because it's a grid, and if you wanted to write something longer, you could go lengthways instead of widthwise. So, but if you want, they would help guide your stickers. They're a pretty light dot grid, so they won't draw too much attention. Then, turn it over and you go to your weekly spread that you've already seen. I mentioned that there will be 2 files available, one with 4 weeks of spread and one with 5 weeks of spread, so you can print however many copies of that without thinking too hard. So there's all those, so just go through that. And then at the back is another one of these dot grids for the whole page. You can see it. Oh, knocked something over. I can't, my light is too bright, I can't tell if it's in focus. There you go. So again, this would be a place to do more practice if you wanted to, more decor if you wanted to. If you wanted to do the words that you missed from those weeks because you lost one of the weekend days, you could do those here. Again, you could do it with the big brush pen. You could practice doing like quote layouts if you wanted to. It's really open-ended, but I think it'll get you some more practice if you're looking for it. If you don't want to use this, you can Frankenplane it in and just use like the currently page from the planner if you want to, if you're using a Happy Planner. Okay, let's talk paper because it's kind of important for this project. So lots of letterers recommend this HP, here, let me grab it. The HP Premium 32 paper. It's really smooth, it's really white, it's nice and thick, so you won't get bleed through. So I bought that. It's pretty inexpensive. I'll link it below on Amazon. But if you don't have your own printer or you don't want to deal with printing them yourself, you can get them printed from Staples instead, or some other printer. So I did those and I thought I'd compare it. So these are the Staples 32-pound glossy executive, I believe. I will put the exact wording in the description below so you can check it out. Here are some differences that I never would have noticed if I didn't have them side by side. So the Staples paper is whiter, and the HP, while it looks very white, is a little on the blue side. You can only tell in comparison. But just so you know, they're both supposed to be the same weight. This one seems maybe slightly thicker than this one. The HP. Here, this is the HP. And this is the Staples. Oh no, I'm gonna have to do an S again. Oh, 2 S's. What was I thinking? All right. So these are the 2 in comparison. I think this is totally fine if you want to send it out to get printed. It works really well. I did notice some differences only in comparison. So this purple is a very juicy pen. It's this Sharpie brush pen, so it's kind of actually too big for the lines, but it's very juicy. And I saw it didn't bleed through the Staples one, but it was close. So if you lingered or you were really heavy-handed, you might have a problem with a super juicy pen for the Staples paper. I'll just show that to you. So this is the Sharpie. It's not bleeding through, but it's almost thinking about it. I don't know if it shows up well on camera. There's some shadowing from the Pentels and a little less so, but still from the Tombow on this Staples paper. However, all of it I think is totally fine. I don't think you'd be too distracted about it if you were working on this other side. However, the HP has significantly less shadowing and definitely not bleed through from this Sharpie. You see it? And less so from the Pentel. So I prefer this HP paper, but the Staples one is a great alternative if you need to get it printed. They're both really nice, really smooth. Comparable to the HP paper, but I think, I'm sorry, not the HP, the Happy Planner, also HP, the Happy Planner paper, but I think a little smoother. And again, no problems with bleed through or shadowing with the HP. So if you wanted to put this in a Happy Planner, you would need, so this is just a printable. All I'm providing is a digital file. But these fit in the big Happy Planner. The 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper do. You would need your own cover, your own discs, and your own dividers if you want those things. If you want to just 3-ring punch it into like a binder, or do it a different way, that's totally fine. These are kind of platform agnostic. You can use whatever you want. But I know a lot of people liked the Love Letters planner from Happy Planner, and this would be, a comparable whatever alternative. So here's where I was practicing on the Happy Planner paper. It's noticeably less smooth. It's a lot like the Staples paper. Let me see. Where that purple Sharpie brush pen is like thinking about bleeding through, but isn't. The Tombow though, like barely is shadowing at all. So this is the planner that is from July 2021 to December 2022. I know that Happy Planner plays with their paper sometimes, so that's why I mention it. But if you wanted to punch these inserts and put them in, they would fit exactly. They're the same size paper. And then you could decide if you wanted to have your monthly view. Oh, I pulled out a page. I'm sorry. Here it is. If you wanted your monthly view, you could then, sorry, I'm playing with this instead of talking. You could have your monthly view and then Frankenplan this in, skip the month at a glance, and do that maybe in your calendar, and Frankenplan it in to start here with the weekly spread. Or you can take out this monthly page and put this in here, and then I would maybe cover this monthly side with some like pretty scrapbook paper or something, and then go straight into my insert. The same thing is true on the other side. For the other divider, you could choose to get rid of the currently page and just have this extra practice here before your divider, or you can frankenplan this in so that you have the sheet connected to this one and go to your currently. At least in this planner, the currently has dot grid in it, so you'd be getting some of the same. They're different size. My inserts are sized so that the dots are the right size spacing for the small brush pens. These you would need to adjust, but I think doing 2 at a time would be totally fine. This is a very normal dot grid sizing. Mine is abnormal, but designed just for this. So if you wanted to put it into your planner, that would be a good way of doing it. So these are the Baker Lane Studio lettering inserts. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I'll put a link to where you can get them. And I hope that you find them useful and that you enjoy using them. I think that 2021 has been so productive for me on learning this new skill because of the community and the challenges, and I think just having some extra functional pages are only going to add to that. So that is the end of the rundown of the inserts themselves, but if you're interested in seeing how I designed them to be easily decorated and what a really cool decorating techniques could look like for these pages, then stay tuned.